Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, and it's day 20 of our challenge.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well. I cannot believe, we've literally, granted, some have been 5-minute episodes, but we have made it an effort to do live every day.
Oh, yeah, they may be short ones, but they're still quite valuable and informative.
Blah, blah, blah.
Mostly. Yeah, we're doing well. Anyway, so not only should we say welcome to Saturday, everybody, but we should also welcome to the inaugural, very first Meeting Planner Music Club. Saturday.
Kind of. We talked about it last week.
We kind of talked about it, but today we're going to talk a little bit more about it. And we've got
we had a week to figure it out.
Well, yeah, we have. Yes, sorry, it's what's that doing there? Okay. So yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit more, and we've already got the Spotify playlist up and running, and we're going to tell you how you can make suggestions and all the essential stuff you need to know. Okay, so it's on Spotify.
Yes.
And it's called the Meeting Club First start again. Saturday, isn't it? Meeting Planner Music Club.
Yes, but it also
one, isn't it?
Volume 1.
Yes.
Because I think we're going to keep the playlist to 100 songs each. And the first one is kind of here's a word I don't use very often, potpourri.
Yeah, I can see why. You don't use it that often.
It is a melting pot of a whole bunch of genres and just songs we're kind of digging. We're up to 21 songs, something like that.
I believe so. Yeah, it's really, really cool. But I think so eventually we will have a playlist that is for if you were standing in an elevator, what would you rather listen to?
Yes, we'll do a desert island playlist where if you could only send us 3 of your favorite songs, what are those 3 favorite songs?
Yeah. And also the kind of if they're playing music at a conference, what would you rather be listening to?
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
So we shall have fun with it.
We should indeed. So first of all, okay. So if anybody wants to make a suggestion, you need to be in our Facebook group, the Bullet List Facebook group.
That's rule number 1.
Yes. So if you come and join us in that,
it's rule number 1.
Rule number 1. We have rules. Didn't know that, but no, we have. So therefore, if you want to make a suggestion, we'll open up a thread. You can then start making suggestions, and until we work it out how we can get people to do it themselves, we shall add tracks to the playlist.
Yeah, Spotify. They used to make it easy.
Yeah. But we'll find a way around it, and we'll sort it out.
Well, it used to be that you could add a collaborator, right? So I belong to some Spotify playlists that were big groups, and you would go in, choose add collaborator, enter their email, right? And then they would be in, right? And then they could. Now you have to create a unique link for each, and I get it. I see why Spotify's doing it, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. But so in the meantime, as I say, it's the Meeting Planner Music Club #1 #1 on Spotify. We have 21 tracks in there, and if you want to make a suggestion of what should be added, then come into the Facebook group for the Bullet List, and later on today we'll open up a thread for it so you can make your suggestions and we'll add.
And so give us an example of a song you've put in there.
Oh, well, I've got some what I like to think is good ones. So there's a couple of sort of really... She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult.
That was a good song.
That is a very good song. I really like that one.
And the Cult are going on tour.
They are?
Yes.
Cool.
Love it.
And another one I've put in, which I really like, and it was a track that, as I was growing up, everybody was listening to. So The Guns of Brixton by The Clash.
The Clash is my favorite band.
I know, because you went off and posed on the steps where they took their album cover. So
right,
yeah.
So no, that's awesome. Listen, what do I now? I'll take us up into this century and decade.
Yes.
And again, I went all over the place. One of the songs that's been in my head lately is that song "Serotonin" by the band artist Girl in Red.
All right.
So love that tune. I mean, it's like on my flight playlist now. It's catchy. It's good. It's good lyrics.
I haven't. This is the thing about the playlist is that you do get to listen to tracks that you would never select yourself because either you just don't know the group or you never got round to listening to it. So that's really cool.
Well, and don't you love going down musical rabbit holes? Like, okay, and I never know how to pronounce her last name, but Brody Daly. She was the lead singer of the band The Distillers for a long time.
Right.
Still is, actually. I think I don't know that they've disbanded or anything. Has some solo work, and then she's got a couple other bands. And she has been actually, unfortunately, in the news lately because she is married to Josh Homme of, oh no, what the heck says Queens of the Stone Age. And they've been going through a horrible divorce. And it's been like in the tabloids and crap. But that's not what this is about. But anyway, so you go into the Distillers page, right? And you're checking out songs because I have a couple of their songs in here. But then it's like suggested for you, or you're listening to radio or whatever, and you go down a musical rabbit hole and discover like 50 other artists that
is so cool. That is so cool.
Which is why somebody was like, "Oh, people who are like album nerds, they want vinyl." I was like one of the first kids in my high school to go digital, and I never looked back.
Fair enough. Oh, there's still something about having vinyl in your hands. There's something about it. I've got a few vinyls left over from when I used to collect them. I'm all digital now.
Never had the fascination with the physical media. The second I was able to put 1 billion songs in my pocket, I was like,
just sidetracking a little bit. I had this on vinyl, a Depeche Mode album. I think it was Construction Time again.
Oh yeah.
And I discovered that. So you've got the disc. The inner part is got the label on it, right? Surrounding the label is like the runoff for when the album finishes.
Yep.
Just inside that was some writing that had been scratched in, so it was always there for on the original metal disc that they used for pressing.
Yep.
And they scratched it, had to put in the words, "So much for the Minimalist album." And I actually discovered there was actually often it's not there is a little message just going around the label, and it was just great.
It is pretty cool. You know what I actually have, and I don't know if it's authentic or not, but I have a 45 that was it, and it's Fagen and Becker. So it was a Steely Dan pressing before they were actually Steely Dan. And I actually don't know if it's legit. It's one of the, so I would probably have to take it to someone to, and it was, but it was one of those things I picked up somewhere for like $2. And I'm like, if it's real, it's probably worth money. But if it's not, what's $2?
I've just remembered to move my microphone closer to the face. So.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. That should sound better now. But but yeah, I mean, record collecting is quite a thing. But you do need plenty of storage space. You know how to look after them properly. So we're digital now, and it's all good. And it does give these.
Angela Case in the comments that don't forget Ultravox after Major joined. And that's good. Ultravox was a good band.
They were a very good band. The thing is, all right, so yeah, John Fox left, so Major took over. John Fox's work is amazing. Ultravox is great, don't get me wrong, but with some of the early solo work by John Fox, absolutely brilliant. Like Underpass, oh, that was so good. Oh, I have to add that, Underpass. Oh, yes.
Oh, we could do a playlist on bands that lost a member or even a lead singer and got better after.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're arguably, you could say that Van Halen was a better band in the Sammy Hagar years than the David Lee Roth years. They may not be exciting, right? Like they were in the David Lee Roth years, but they were certainly a better musical band.
Okay, so Lemmy from Motorhead, the dear departed Lemmy from Motorhead, he started off as the lead singer for Hawkwind. Did Hawkwind get any better? I think so.
Hmm. That actually, I don't know because I don't know Hawkwind that well.
Well, Silver Machine. Well, yeah, that was really, really cool. One of their first big hits. So,
Let's
anyway, yeah.
see.
So Ultravox, though, yes, there's plenty of good Ultravox tracks out there.
AC/DC. After Bon Scott's passing, Brian Johnson was he
Oh,
was
yeah.
better of the two.
Yeah. Oh, what else?
Or artists that left and got better after they left their band.
Yeah, when they go solo.
Yeah. What's his name? Paul. Oh, Genesis. Yeah, there you go. Change lead singers got better. Genesis again.
Yeah.
Angela Casey in the comments. Genesis definitely. I think they took our left turn at Albuquerque when Peter Gabriel left, right?
Yeah.
And they, and Phil Collins came in. It literally became a different band.
Yeah. But then Peter Gabriel did it when, again, it's another example of the lead going away and doing some amazing stuff on their own.
Yeah, he's the he is. She's absolutely right. This one actually goes both ways because when Peter Gabriel left Genesis, he became a much better artist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Salisbury Hill, that was pretty good. Games Blood Frontiers.
Oh, Sledgehammer, dude, that album was the only thing you heard for like 8 months.
Yeah, that dominated, didn't it?
It and even this one after that was really good.
Yeah, but the Sledgehammer video really kind of pushed that forward.
Yeah, well, that's when video could make or break an artist.
Yeah.
George
Oh,
Michael.
here we go.
Oh, see, I don't know. Wham was good though.
Yeah,
Like throwing stuff in the comments, which is great because it gets me to think about stuff. But
hey, we've got one person actually watching at the moment. Oh,
I mean,
two.
Wham was a silly band, but they were a good band.
I mean, no, the thing is, George Michael left and went off and did some really serious, meaningful ballads and songs and things, which I'm sure he couldn't have done in Wham.
No. And who was the other guy in Wham? Andrew Ridgeley.
Yes. Who went on to do truck racing or something like that, didn't he?
He really? Oh, yeah. Didn't he? F1 or something.
Oh, he went off to do motor racing, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, wait. I'm going down. More recent times, if you come into the 90s and early 2000s, Natalie Merchant, after she left 10,000 Maniacs. She did. Her solo career was much better than the band. But and the person they got, I saw 10,000 Maniacs. They were actually the last concert I saw before COVID. And they had, their, I guess, new lead singer who's been the lead singer for 20 something years. She's actually really good.
Oh, cool.
And tonight I'm going to see Duran Duran.
Are they still doing the original lineup?
It's pretty close. They had 14 guys in the band name with last name Taylor.
Yeah.
And none of them are related. So I think there's a couple Taylors missing. But Simon Le Bon is still the lead singer. All that good stuff.
It wasn't the case that the drummer for now it depends on how you pronounce it. If you're going to pronounce it right, it's ZZ Top, not ZZ Top or ZZ Top. It's ZZ Top.
Yes,
I'm aware. The drummer was called Beard, but he didn't have one. But the two guitarists, the lead guitarists, they did.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of their shtick. Frank Beard.
Yeah,
he's the drummer for ZZ Top.
Yeah, but didn't have a beard.
ZZ Top. Underrated band. They're a good band.
My favorite was TV Dinners. Absolutely marvelous. Very marvelous indeed. That's
Nationwide. Yeah, a lot of good songs. A lot of good songs. Wait. No, back to the rabbit hole. So, what songs? Okay, so I like these playlists. These could be some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
You know what band? And I don't know why I thought of this when we were talking about lead singers that have left a band and they went on, but I don't. But was or Frankie Goes to Hollywood, or
Yeah.
Won't Reunite. That would be a good playlist.
Yeah.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Holly Johnson will not. He won't even be in the same room with those other guys.
Yeah, that went a bit weird. But
Uh,
again, it's another band that dominated the charts, and of course, I mean, now you've talked about it, you have to mention it. Once Relax was banned on British radio, BBC Radio 1, once that was banned, it then was top of the charts. Nothing promotes a record more than
Get
stopping
banned.
people from listening to it. Yeah, from banning it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
we all saw Footloose. But so yeah, that did put them up now, and they were one of the first bands to ever do the 12-inch, like the remix thing, like on a massive scale. Like if you look at Welcome to the Pleasure Dome or Relax, Two Tribes, there were bunches of remixes for each song. In fact, there were some that there was a remix for, I think it was Two Tribes in the 80s, that I still haven't been able to find.
Speaking of which, so Paul Hardcastle's 19.
Yes.
Right, so there was like the standard version. I really liked it so much that every time there was another version of it available, I would go and get it. So I had the German version, the French version, the remix version, the jungle techno whatever remix. Yeah, it just went on and on and on. And it wasn't actually. It was a bit weird hearing it in German and French because well, we hear it in English, 19, no, 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 19.
Yeah.
In French, it's 19, 19. I don't know what the German is.
Huh.
But that just hearing it in another language and it doesn't roll properly. It was weird, but it's good. Good track.
99 Luftballons. That was actually a song that was just as good in the German than it was in the English.
Yeah.
Although that is a freaking earworm. You get that song in your head, and it is just there for days.
Yeah, you should put that in a lift, or as Americans would say, an elevator, and make people listen to it on the way up and down.
I was actually in a grocery store, and it was actually a number of years ago. It wasn't recent, and they were and they had Muzak going, and back when Muzak was a thing, and it was like Van Halen, and I was like, what the?
Yeah. Isn't it awful that that the bands you've grown up with that used to be sort of like the leading band, Hard Edge, they were fantastic, they were rebellious, and now they're sort of like middle of the road, and they get part of Muzak tracks that just played in shops.
Or I like bands that were huge and are now playing smaller arenas, but are still doing really, really well. And case in point on that was a couple of years ago, just pre-COVID, we went and saw The Fix.
Oh yeah.
And they're not filling big places anymore. They were at a place called City Winery here in Chicago. And the show was phenomenal. There was a lot more stripped down, a lot more without the electronics, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Another person who's gone on to do amazing solo stuff, and he's actually, I think he's better in a small place than the arena, because they used to play arenas, is Colin Hay from Men at Work.
Men at Work. Oh yeah, I remember those.
Oh, if Colin Hay comes anywhere near you within 120 miles or 150 kilometers, whatever you happen to, however you measure distance, go. He is in concert solo. He is phenomenal because he tells all the stories about the Men at Work songs, and he plays like the first half of the show is acoustic before he has his band come out, but just kind of the stories about their rise, which was like a rocket, and then the crash. It's a great show.
Because there was the group called Men Without Hats who did the Safety Dance. As far as I remember, they are called Men Without Hats because what they originally wanted to be called was Men Without Jobs, to go against Men at Work or Men Without Work or whatever combination. So they had to go. Yeah, they had to change the name.
You remember the song "Safety Dance"?
Yeah,
You know what it was about?
not really, but you're going to
Nuclear war.
enlighten us.
It was about nuclear war. I don't know how. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was an odd one.
Okay.
They were a good band though. That album was actually really good. See, I used to like if I like a band, I kind of like listen to them a lot, and I actually did like them. But on that one, I had the cassette, and it was only the first side of the cassette that I listened to. I never listened to the second side.
Fair enough. Actually, I know what you mean though about you do a binge listen.
Yeah.
I do that. I've done that with Hawkwind, and more recently, I've done that with the Beastie Boys.
Oh, I love the Beastie Boys. But
Yeah,
you're right. I go in fits and spurts with them. Like I'll listen to
yeah,
the Beasties every day for a month, and then I won't listen to them at all for 2 years.
yeah.
I'm like that with the Cars too.
Oh, okay.
Like I like old car stuff. I actually like the more recent Heartbeat City, and I say
Yeah,
new, and it's the '80s album is the new stuff. But yeah, but I'll listen to the Cars for a bunch, and then I won't touch them for a decade.
yeah, yeah. I'll just yeah, yeah, because it's because some of the music. I mean, I listen to it because it brings back a memory or a feeling or um I had that with Cabaret Voltaire. They're really good. No, you never heard of them. Never mind.
Yeah, which is awesome. Now I have to go listen.
Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. Well, they were like very experimental back in. I think they were doing stuff from about 78 onwards, 77 onwards. Oh, I think even 76 onwards. They're doing experimental music. You know, doing various effects and treatments of the sound.
Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
Love Kraftwerk. They came through in concert not too long ago, and I didn't go, and I'm so bummed.
Oh, yes. I think it was the second album I ever bought was Computer World.
So, here's my musical taste. My first two albums I ever bought. It was in a little
Yeah.
place called in Stafford Springs, Connecticut, and it was the store was Caldor.
Mm.
It was a department store. I bought Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and Billy
Yeah.
Joel. Two completely different.
Yeah, that's a bit different. Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon still holds up.
Well, it's just a classic, never fades kind of music, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, there are classic albums that I'm like, man, whatever. That one actually still holds up. Like if it comes on, like if I put it on, I'll listen to the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm just scrolling through our list to see what else we've got on there that we can talk about.
Yeah, I have a lot more from this century. Ida Maria, that's one I've been listening to a ton of her lately.
I've been adding tracks that are much older. For example, Cool for Cats by Squeeze.
Yeah, the lead singer's coming here. I think I mentioned that yesterday. He's gonna be in Chicago, I think, next week. I'm torn. I like Squeeze. I played the singles album over and over and over and over and over until it basically burned out.
Yeah. Okay, so if anybody's thinking, wow, this is lovely, they're reminiscing about their favourite bits of music, we can't play any of it.
Oh yeah, copyright. However,
Yeah.
we've a way around that is starting next week. I think we're doing the Spotify where that episode will only be on Spotify and Anchor, and if we do it that way, we can play the music.
We'll try and do it so it'd be like, we'll choose like the top 5 from the playlist. Or if you're in the Bullet List group on Facebook, you can suggest tracks that we should be playing in that episode on Spotify.
Oh, look, Angela, the comment, the awesome comments today has one here. Ooh, I think I can put it up. There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Referring to Kraftwerk.
Yep. They did inspire. They really, really did. I'm not so sure how inspirational they were for Ultravox. OMD certainly. I think at one point OMD were a support act for Kraftwerk. I think.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Somebody's going to correct me on that one.
The coolest opening act I ever saw was in the 80s. I went and saw the Moody Blues. They were the headliner.
Yeah.
The opening act was Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, wow.
Who was, and no one knew who he was then. And oh my heavens, he was way better than the Moody Blues. although I do like the Moody Blues.
Now, when I was working in Cambridge back in the late 80s, middle to late 80s, I had a boss who was really into, the professional guitar players, the virtuosos. So he dragged me along to, this is in the UK, obviously, to Cambridge Corn Exchange, where I saw Al Di Meola playing and Dr. Feelgood.
Okay.
And I also, so those are the ones he dragged me to, but I also saw OMD live.
OMD.
Gary Newman.
Oh.
Now, the thing about the Gary Newman concert is that he was doing his thing with the leaning forward of the microphone, sort of like that, leaning right forward, which doesn't, if this is ever on a podcast, you're never going to, I can't do visuals if this ever makes it as a podcast. But anyway, so he was leaning forward with the microphone, trying to be closer to the audience. He then rolled his eyes. So all of his suddenly his eyes just went white.
Oh, that's cool. It's creepy.
That looked really weird. Obviously, everybody absolutely loved it. Totally rocked out. It was really, really cool.
Well, what a lovely way to bring us to a close.
Well, lovely way to spend a Saturday.
That was fun. All right. Yeah. And hopefully we're going to find a way to actually play this music. We will figure it out.
Please come to the Bullet List group. I will keep an eye out all day today to make sure that if anybody's applying to join, I'll get you in. No problem at all. And we can start contributing to these playlists. We'll make up ones, as we've discussed, ones for like on Desert Island, what would you listen to? If you're stuck in the lift, what music would you replace that's already playing? All that sort of thing. So come and join us, make some suggestions, and we'll come up with these collaborative efforts. And we'll go and see what happens.
And find us at the bullet-list.com.
Yeah. Well done. It's
right.
your job. Anyway, yes, we're also on Facebook. So notifications on the Event Planner News Facebook page and on the Planner Wire page. And thank you to Angela for the comments today. Good suggestions.
All right. And Bob, I will see you tomorrow because we're still going on live every day in August.
31 days of August. Yay!